Hi everyone, welcome to our week one of EDUC 3313, Integrating Technology into the Classroom. This is the first presentation that I will be providing for you. I'm going to give you a PowerPoint presentation and a video each week, usually by Sunday evening, for you to work through your assignments and the material throughout the week and have your postings in Blackboard and your assignments turned in on time throughout the week. So here is the start page of our PowerPoint. This is where we'll always begin. And then I will just scroll through, and there will be times where I click in and out of the PowerPoint and also walk you over to, or click you over to our web browser, and I'll typically be using Chrome. Feel free to click with me, or you can watch the video through however many times you need and then go back and work through the slides as it works out best for you. So since this is an introductory presentation, I'm going to go ahead and start with a little teeny bit about me. You have my bio, my short biography in our Blackboard, and then I give you a link to my other websites. And the reason I did that as well is because you should be thinking about creating a bio for yourself. If you haven't already, you'll be needing that for your other classes, and then as you start to think about doing internships or looking for jobs, you'll definitely want a really solid bio. And there are very specific things that go in there, which is what you saw in the Blackboard. So I am here at Southeastern as an assistant professor. This is my first year here at Southeastern, although I have a long family legacy at Southeastern. Many generations of my family have went here and are alumni. My maternal side of my family is from Southeastern Oklahoma, and many of them still live in Idabel, and then I have family in Poto, and so all throughout Oklahoma. We are Choctaw, so we've been here for quite a long time. And so when the position of assistant professor for instructional technologies came open, I definitely applied because my doctorate's in education technologies, which you probably saw. So everything about working with you semester, I'm really excited about. I'm excited about being here. I'm excited about teaching the subject that I am, and learning and working with you as well. So more introductions. So if you haven't experienced our Center for Instructional Development and Technology, Christella Smith is the director of that, and their team was very helpful in working with me to create a video, and we certainly can teach you and walk you through how to create these videos for yourself as well. They're really great interview tools or tools for your website, or if you're working with any project, just even a short 20 to 30 minute video is generally very helpful for whatever you're trying to do. So I'm not going to click on the video right now. I'll just show you what it looks like, and actually I'm going to get in presenter mode. And so if you click on the photo, it should take you over to the website where you can view the whole video on your own. I'm not going to walk you all through it now, but that's what it looks like. So then we'll go back to
my first year at Southeastern.
To the PowerPoint, and hope you enjoy that and kind of look through it as a model for what you can create for yourself. And we're going to be using throughout the course of our class an instructional model called iCare, which was specifically created as a general model for instructional technologies. And iCare stands for Introduce, Connect, Apply, Reflect, and Extend. And so that serves as the frame, as the underpinnings for all the different material that I'm going to share with you and all the different experiences you're going to have throughout each course. So that'll help you kind of get an idea of what each session of ours is going to look like, whether we're in person or whether you're online with me through these presentations. So Dr. Wang in 2008 produced a short paper describing how iCare works with ICT, or Information and Communication Technologies, and that paper can be found here where I put retrieved from at the bottom. And I shortened the link into a bit.ly link, and we'll talk more about what bit.ly links are. I also wanted to share with you a little bit about our syllabus. Hopefully you all downloaded that and walked through it or looked through it. It was in your Blackboard, and it's pretty comprehensive, 13 pages. I wanted to be as detailed as I could with you up front so that you knew what to expect and to really set you up for a success. And so some of the content in there is required by the university, and we have to have that in there for the accreditation. But I also wanted to just be very clear and describe, at least for now, what the plan is for each week. I do reserve the right to adjust the syllabus as it makes sense for you and your success and the overall progress of the class, but at least we have a good start in what it will look like. So there's our table of contents. It is hyperlinked to help you kind of move through it, and hopefully that's helpful. One of the most important things in the syllabus as well is diversity. So one of my areas of specialty is culturally responsive education. So really working with the culture and the community that I'm in, that we're in, and making sure that it's appropriate, that I'm teaching and learning and you're learning and working together and collaborating with me and others in a very culturally responsive way. And we can talk more about what the culture of Southeastern Oklahoma State University is and what the culture of Southeastern Oklahoma is, and then the culture of university. So we'll be talking a lot about diversity and culture, as I think that's a really important component for your success in this class and life in general. Also, the standard university policies, you just see these in every one of your syllabi that you get from each of your classes. We will protect your privacy. We expect you to not cheat or plagiarize. You're going to do your own work and give credit where credit is due. It's great to share ideas, but make sure you credit the folks that that you have gotten their ideas or you've gained from their ideas. Americans with Disability Act. If you have a special need in any regard, especially if you have a disability, let me know. We have a great representative on campus that we can set you up with to make sure that we support whatever learning needs so that you're successful at Southeastern. We have counseling center services. I've been through 3 higher learning degrees. I know how stressful college can be or university can be, and so if you need some sort of counseling support or just life in general, any sort of counseling center services, we certainly can connect you there. Also in the syllabus, you'll see what I've done is I've combined on the left side here the face-to-face classes. So Durant, if you look up here, let's give you, you will see that you're going to be meeting with me. So Durant's meeting with me on the 19th, the 26th, September 2nd, September 9th, September 16th, the 23rd, September 30th, and then October 7th is the last face-to-face course. Every other week I will be providing you again with a PowerPoint and a video to help you work through the material, and then of course be online in Blackboard to answer questions. Grayson College, I'll be meeting with you these 5 times face-to-face, and that would be the 18th of this month of August, August 25th, September 22nd, October 20th, and then December 1st. And then I have 2 sections of just online. We don't ever meet face-to-face. I'm also totally available virtually. I've taught 100% online classes. Like I said, I've taught hybrid classes, and again 100% face-to-face. So I am totally available to you, and you can find me on Skype. We can meet virtually that way. We can meet in Google Hangouts. I'm on Twitter, Crystal_Jensen. I'm on LinkedIn. You can text me at any time. My phone number is 805-890-9002. That's in the syllabus. I publish that widely. Fortunately, nobody's abused it yet, and so also, I am in my office here at Southeastern, Morrison 217, on Tuesdays and Wednesdays from 1:30 to 4, and I plan to stick by that. Or you virtually, I will definitely be online on Skype or what other means you want, Monday and Thursday, 1:30 to 4. So 1:30 to 4 is my time, in person or virtually. or by appointment, and I can meet really, and I'm happy to meet at your convenience to make sure you're successful. In the syllabus, there's a link to my Google Calendar, which shows all those times. And if you will email me or call me ahead of time, I'll reserve a spot for you so you don't show up at the office and then I'm meeting with somebody else. Also notice that throughout the syllabus there's these red arrows, and that was to really clue you in onto the important key parts of the syllabus, because there's a lot in there, and there's a lot that I had to include for university specifications, but then there's the stuff that's really just important to you to do well in the class. So those are where I put the red arrows. Just make sure you pay special attention to those. So moving forward, our course goals, I'm going to go through these pretty quickly just to make sure that I covered them, and just so I know that I did due diligence and read through them in your syllabus. There are 6 main goals of the course, and they're mapped to ISTE, International Society of Technology Educators. You're going to get very familiar with that if you haven't already. Published in 2008, so there's 6 goals. Basically, technology operations and concepts. Number 2, effective learning environments and experiences. Implement curriculum plans that include methods and strategies for applying technology. There's also, and I'm going to try to draw with this pen and hopefully it helps you, effective assessment and evaluation strategies, enhance productivity and professional practice with technology, and then there's the social, ethical, legal, human issues. So we're going to be focusing on those throughout the course, and each one of our sessions is designed to address those. And the ISTE standard that I'm addressing, I've noted in the syllabus next to the session title, and they're in brackets. And so if you see a 1 or a number, that's what it is. Sorry. Also that there's some course materials, and I'll let you read through that. The key things here is just that I'm not requiring a textbook at this point. I will be giving you lots of reading material that I post on Facebook or on Blackboard or in these presentations, and they're highly recommended. I know how much reading you have. I'm going to try to keep it to a minimum. This is a practical applied course versus theoretical, but I'm going to give you a little bit of theory just so that the practical makes sense. And so I'm also going to try to make sure that everything I give you is free or very low cost, because I also know that reading materials can get quite expensive. So software, everything we do again is going to be free or very low cost. I'm only going to require free applications. That's one of my main areas of belief, that I try to keep things as inexpensive for students as possible. So the university provides Microsoft 365 for free. Also, you can set up a Google Apps for Education account for free, and I have links to that later on in the presentation. If you're going to be using Microsoft Works, then make sure that you convert that prior to sending it to me. And I apologize why I work with this pen. Also, you're going to be using Blackboard for sure. That's going to be our main point of contact. I will put all these presentations there for you. Make sure you're backing up your work. This saved me when I was writing my dissertation. My computer was stolen. Thank goodness I had everything backed up. Very recently, I was using Backblaze at the time, $5 a month, and it just quietly in the background backs up your whole hard drive so you don't save anything. Google Drive is nice too, but it doesn't automatically back up for you. You have to drag files there. Backblaze and Carbonite silently does the backup in the background, and you never know what's happening. Also, make sure that you have computer with internet access, high speed. You're going to need to be able to download files and upload files and all that, and so a dial-up connection is really not going to work well for you. And if you need to go to the library here, if you're in Durant or somewhere nearby, you can go to the library. There's several restaurants around town that have high-speed internet that you can use too. I know Wendy's does and McDonald's does. So just make sure you have access to a reliable, fast connection. You won't have to worry about having a super fast connection for our meeting online. In previous times, I used to meet synchronously or in real time with students via Skype or another product called Zoom, and so I had to have a really dedicated high-speed internet. You won't have to do that because much of all of our work will either be face-to-face for the Grayson and Durant sections, or it'll just be 100% online, and I'm just going to feed you information this way. And then standards integration, as I talked about, we will be working with ISTE, and then you will be, we're also working with the InTASC core teaching standards that you should be familiar with, but they're also explained later on in the syllabus too. And then your assignments. This is, of course, key for you, hence the red arrow. And these are the items that are going to drive your grades. And so you'll notice here that you have, and I apologize for the numbering, I will fix that for the next time. You have an innovative lesson plan. We're going to talk about that at the end of this session with media-rich instructional, for a media-rich instructional presentation, including a web quest, and then also an assessment rubric that you'll get. And that's going to be due week 4. It's 10% of your grade, and that's also going to go in your portfolio as an artifact for standard number 5. So again, I do have instructions for that at the end of this presentation, and you should be on track to have that done by week 4. It's just a one-pager, and I even give you templates. So also, we're going to be doing a project-based learning lesson of a core subject, and you're going to share out your ideas via a multimedia presentation, and then accompanied by a rubric. Again, that's not due until much later on because it's an intensive presentation, or a little bit more of a comprehensive, I should say, presentation. So that's due week 15 of week 16, so towards the end. 10% of your grade, and it's artifact 5. So then you have number 3, you're going to have a classroom newsletter. I'll give you templates for that you can customize. And then a brochure, and then also a branding website for yourself. So all of these things, typically, even somebody in junior high, I taught technology in junior high years ago, all my students then could do it, and so I can give you some tips and tricks to make it very easy for you. And so hopefully these will be fun projects for you, and you will be able to get them done in a very reasonable amount of time. And the goal is to not make this class stressful for you at all, but more, again, something that you enjoy doing. You will also be doing a reflection that goes in your portfolio. You're going to lots of discussion in that discussion board on Blackboard, so please stay engaged there. And that's going to be 20% of your grade, because that is important to me, especially for the online-only classes. I need to see that you're working and making progress towards the end of the semester, and you're not just waiting till week 15 or 16 to do all these assignments. And then again, attendance and active participation, which another 20%. Notice that those two are 40% of your 100% grade. So definitely stay engaged that way. Grades. The grades are earned. Definitely earned. I am learned a long time ago. My motto is firm, fair, and consistent. So I tell you the expectations up front. I'm very fair, but I am consistent. So whatever you see in the syllabus is kind of, think of it as a legal contract. And we've been definitely encouraged by the university to stick to what we publish in our syllabus in order to be fair to everybody. And so I'll let you read through these on your own. But again, quizzes, we're not going to really do any quizzes. But if something does come up, they need to be done by the due date. At this point, I don't have any quizzes in the syllabus. Projects, due dates, again, just follow the due dates and stay in communication with me. And then make sure that you're attending every session or participating in the Blackboard. And speaking of discussion on Blackboard, here is how you'll be graded. This is how other discussion boards and other courses are graded. I have not reinvented the wheel here. I've gone with what the university uses. So 25 points. Just here's your initial response. Make sure you do follow-up responses on Blackboard. Think critically. Remember Bloom's taxonomy, and we'll talk a little bit more about that, but I'm sure you already heard about Bloom's. And make connections to other material we've read or other classes that you're taking. That's really critical, is to kind of ground the information you're talking about with something you've learned somewhere else, so that we know that you're really connecting all the information. And then watch your writing, your grammar and your spelling. Do a grammar check, do a spell check. It doesn't have to be perfect in these online forums. It's not like it's a thesis you're turning in, but just try to to make it at least college level. This is a 3313 level class, and not a entry level class. So please just make sure that you're watching your writing mechanics. Here's your portfolio artifacts. I've already kind of talked about those in the previous slide. Those have to be in your portfolio by the end of the semester, or we have to talk about giving you an incomplete, which the university really doesn't like to do. So please just make sure you're doing each one of these assignments as we go along, and then getting them into your portfolio. If you need help at any time, I can meet with you in person. I will help you however I can to get that done on time. So please just make sure you're communicating with me. And I'll be doing spot checks, of course, as each of these are due, and giving you grades as they're due, so that we make sure that you're getting them in. Protocols and assignments, attendance policies. Again, just show up and participate. So my protocols, I'm going to post assignments and materials and resources like this video and this presentation or PowerPoint for you weekly. I'm going to give you feedback. I'm going to grade your work. I'm going to respond to you or try to respond to you very quickly. All my email goes to my phone. So if you send an email, and I've set up the Blackboard to do the same, so I should get a response or a notice that you have sent me a message right away, and I will try to respond right away as well. Student protocols, main thing, be competent, committed, and ethical. So in summary, be competent, do your work, try to do it as best of a level as you can. Be professional in terms of asking for help if you need it and reaching out. Be committed, really trying to do the work as best as possible, and ethical. No cheating or plagiarizing again. Just follow the syllabus, and if you do that, if you show up and follow the syllabus, you're going to do very well. And please just make sure that you're responding to Blackboard right away. If we have in-person classes or if we're online together, please dress professionally. I can't tell you how important that is to your professional reputation as a teacher. People still think of teachers on the same level as an attorney or a medical doctor, and so please dress professionally or appropriately. Of course, you don't have to wear a suit, but like you're going into a nice office or something, or into an important meeting. Whether if you're going to be online, on camera, or in person, just remember to dress professionally, and people really do notice that. If you're going to be inviting a guest to our in-person meetings for Durant Grayson, please just talk to me beforehand. I'm generally pretty open to that. I just like to know ahead of time, and so that I can kind of help know what to expect and let others know what to expect too. Again, assignment information, I reserve the right to modify the syllabus and the assignment and any other part of the course. And my intention in doing that always is to make sure that I'm helping you be as successful as possible. Please, and here's a key one right here, please do not email me assignments directly. If we need to collaborate on something you're doing, we can put them in Google Docs. The only reason I ask you to not email assignments to me for grading is because they could get lost. I get hundreds of emails a day, and I don't want your work to get lost. And so please post your assignments in Blackboard, or any other, if I'm 99% of the time going to ask you to put them in Blackboard. Maybe 1% of the time I'll ask you to put them somewhere else, but unless otherwise directed, please just put them in Blackboard, but do not email them to me just so they don't get lost. And late assignments, again, the reason I laid out the course as I did is to keep you on track and keeping in mind your other classes. And so unless there's extenuating, and I mean really extenuating circumstances, please make sure I get your work on time. And I'll try to get my work to you on time, such as this presentation. So additional resources. I looked through our assignments and I thought through, okay, what are the core foundational resources that would help you be successful? And here's some links I found for you. I created a Diigo account, that's D-I-I-G-O, and I'll be inviting you to that. And that way, as I come across links that would be helpful to you, we'll put them in there, and then you can kind of pick and choose what you want. But that's just a much easier way to do it in Google Chrome, and I'll show you how to do that later. But here's lots of trainings for you if you need help with Blackboard. Lynda.com has a great video that shows you how to do that. Big Blue Button, we could work with using that. OWL is a great writing resource I'm sure you've heard about already. Here's the InTask teaching standards we talked about, ISTE standards, Microsoft 365 training in Lynda. Here's the 5 core propositions of the National Board for Professional Teaching Standards. So I really looked through and tried to find everything that would make you successful in this class or help you successful in the class. SE's content here, and then technical requirements. So this is just the start and the core ones, but you'll be getting a lot more information. I've been doing education technologies for 15 years. And I've been a technologist much longer than that. So this is really your time to pick my brain, and anything that you know you need help with now or you foresee needing help with, please ask these questions now and use these 16 weeks with me to get help on whatever you need, whether it's maybe you want to become a Google certified trainer or an Apple Distinguished Educator, or you want to present at a conference, whatever that's along our lines of information, I can certainly help you do that. Portfolio and performance activities, we've kind of already talked about the portfolio, we've already talked about performance activities, but I just wanted to put them in here so that you know they're important. And definitely make sure that you're getting those artifacts ready for your portfolio. We won't be working too much with chalk and wire this semester, but that's where, that's where your portfolio is going to be housed, and so we'll help you get it in there too, but you'll just have those items, those artifacts ready to go in there. And so now we're in the A section of the iCare model, and some of the cloud, so part of our session tonight I put in your syllabus was we were going to talk about cloud computing. And cloud computing is different than standard computing in the fact that much of all your work, if not all your work, is saved in the cloud. And the cloud just means that it's on somebody else's computer, or better word for that is server, and it's stored on their hard drive, like say Google Cloud Computing. So Google has their whole apps for education, and they have hundreds of hard drives or servers that store your information for you. Now there's a lot of implications in that, and the fact that they have access to all your data, but there's several reasons that people are really using cloud computing through Google Apps or Microsoft 365 or Adobe Cloud, and that's because it's just easy. People use multiple computers at work and home and school, and they have their cell phones, and so that way it's one centralized location online where you can save all your information instead of having to move it from computer to computer with USB drives or portable hard drives or those other peripheral, is the keyword for that, peripheral tool, and that's P-E-R-I-P-H-E-R-A-L. And so sometimes that word's still used, but not as much as it used to be. So we will be doing cloud computing in this course, and some of the cloud computing tools that we're going to be using and that I would like you to have set up and tested by the end of the session is Blackboard, which you should already have going, and you should have got my invite. And so that's automatically created for you, your username and password. And so you should be able to log in, access the student tools, the discussion boards, the announcements, the syllabus, all that stuff I got going for you. I'm going to be putting a lot more information for you as we go along, and it's going to be a fully built out course. But I didn't want to overwhelm you in week one. So definitely you're going to be very involved in Blackboard. And then there's also a mobile app that you can download for Blackboard, Blackboard Learn. It's in the Apple Store, and I believe it's both for Macs and for iOS and Android. And so that mobile app is $1.99. It's optional. You don't have to buy it, but it would just make your life easier, especially if you're traveling a lot like I do and you want that real-time access. I've just gotten used to taking my laptop with me wherever I go, but not everybody does that. So you'll also have Big Blue Button, which is underneath your Blackboard student tools. Make sure you're going to use Firefox for that. I often use Chrome just because it interacts with all my Google tools that I use a lot. But Big Blue Button is a new tool for Southeastern, and it works best with Firefox browser instead of Chrome. So in terms of browser, as I said, I typically use Chrome. While the university does have a contract with Microsoft, Internet Explorer is not recommended. You certainly can use it if you want, but for this class I would use Firefox for Big Blue Button, and then I've just switched over to Chrome, honestly, because of the extensions and that sort of thing, which I can show you later to how to add those. Microsoft 365 has just been updated. I know for my Mac it's 2016 version. It's free for students, which is great. And then just when you set it up, make sure you use your SE Southeastern email for that. And I'm actually really enjoying that tool. There's another tool that I'm going to start using probably next week called PowerPoint Mix, which is an add-on to PowerPoint, but for PCs only at this time. So I usually work on a Mac, but I have a PC in my office, so I'm going to use that probably next week and see how that works for your presentation. You can download for free Microsoft 365 from our SC server here, and then the training for Microsoft 365, I found a good one for you that was published by Microsoft, and that training video is here. And so if you need help learning how to use it, and we will be using actually Microsoft 365 quite a bit through the course, and because that's going to be one of your main options for creating your newsletter and your brochure. And so Google Apps for Education, most of you probably have a Gmail account already. If you don't, please set one up, because Google Apps is certainly here to stay, especially for education. And then here's a great little training tutorial for you that will help walk you through how to set up your Google Apps and then also how to use it. One other tool that I learned about, probably a good 8 to 10 years ago is Diigo, and I really like that because there's a little extension on the top right corner of Chrome where you can click on a link, and I'll walk you through that later too, or actually the video here will. Here's a training video for you. We'll show you how to use Diigo to basically keep track of all your web links and then share them. And I have a group set up for EDUC 3313 already. And then Weebly.com is something that you're going to need to have an account for. I've worked with students before, actually in San Francisco Bay Area with Weebly, and I want you to have a personal, professional site just for you, for all your coursework and all of that by the time you leave my class. And Weebly is a great free tool. I actually have my two of my personal sites set up in Weebly, and it's free. There are of course paid options, but the basic and all you'll need for this course is free. And so you're going to set up a free account in there, but I'm going to give you the option after all that to either set up your site in Google Apps for Education. They do have a Sites app within their suite, and so you can create your site there, or Weebly. But I actually, honestly, for this purpose and for for the level of professionalism that you can create, you can have a store in Weebly on your page, so you can, post things that people can download, like my dissertations on mine. I don't charge for it, but it's there, and then it just keeps track of who downloads it. So I'll show you a lot more. Here's a video that explains Weebly more. I really like it. It's probably one of the better, easy, plug and play, as they say, website creating tools that you can find. And then we have Adobe Creative Cloud, $19.99 a month for students. You certainly don't have to have that. We have other tools that you can use, but $20 a month for Adobe Creative Cloud is amazing. And I think I paid that much for just Adobe Illustrator when I was doing some graphic design work a few months ago, and very intensely. So I paid for Illustrator, and that one product alone was $20, $19.99. But here you have the whole suite: Photoshop, InDesign, Illustrator. If you have any interest in graphic design at a more professional level, you'll certainly want to work with Adobe Creative Cloud, and I'm happy to walk through that. I'm not going to be really going in depth with the topics in this class, but it is the standard for graphic design and photo editing. So again, applying our systems and procedures set up for our class, just to make your life easier and not knowing what each of your previous experience is, I just really spelled out the fact of how to set up for this class. I used to always walk my students with setting up their binders and putting in their tabs, and how to organize their backpacks. So this is kind of organizing your backpack, and which you'll be walking your students through too. So I'll let you read that, but basically you're creating folders with subfolders so that you can stay organized. And then you're also going to create a document. I have mine in a product called Evernote, which is free at the basic level. Evernote's a fabulous tool, very powerful tool. You can Google that and download it for free. And that is one it's cloud computing, but you also can download the app to your computer. So so it has both of those options where you can work offline on your computer via the application, and then it just uploads your data once you're connected back to the internet. So all my usernames and passwords, and I even have those kind of encoded and encrypted, are in one file. That's one of the things you don't want to waste your time on, is trying to remember your password, resetting passwords, and that sort of thing. So just have a file that you have protected, password protected, and just remember that one password, so that you can efficiently work through all the different products and tools that we're giving you, because you're going to have a lot of accounts by the time we're done, and then you have to change passwords every once in a while, and so it just helps to keep all of them together. I think I have a good 150, 200 usernames and passwords, so it would be too much for me to remember all those, so I have them in a file. And then, get in the habit of checking your communications, your email, your texts, your discussion boards, the announcements in Blackboard, at least once or twice a day. This is very typical for teachers, for educators at every level. And then also respond to your discussion boards in Blackboard within 24 hours of the original posting. And that's pretty standard. And if you have any thought of being an online teacher, really at the different schools I've been at, or my different colleagues, this sort of response time is very typical. It's not teaching face-to-face in a regular, traditional, I should say, K-12 school. It's very different than teaching online, and so I've had to get used to just responding right away. And so you should expect that from me. Number 4, I will do my very best to post a presentation like this, and I may switch it up, but you will get some sort of presentation and then a tutorial video like this one on Sunday evenings to kind of prepare you for the rest of the week. And then we'll be sending out more information for you. I also have a survey I created for you, and to be honest, it's a survey I created for a previous client that I was working with, and I've adapted it for you. And so to access your survey, you can click on the image. I've hyperlinked the image, or you can kind of see that as I mouse over it, or you can click the link up here too. And that will take you to the survey, and then you can just, this is a Google form is what they're called in Google, and they're super easy to create. And so you just type in your name. I don't need to do it in caps, and then I can, there's my PO box, which I'll give you. I do live here in Durant, so I'm close by if you need anything. My phone number, and then you have, I have numerous emails, as I told you. And if you were employed, Southeastern. So you're going to go through it and expect a graduation date for you. And I guess I did make some of them required. And then your social media, if you want to share your social media accounts with me, you don't have to. And oh, I'll change the required part of that too for you. Tell me about your connectivity. Or do you have high-speed wireless at home? Do you have dial-up? What sort of mobile technology tools are you using? Smartphones, Androids, laptops, tech support. Do you get it here at Southeastern? Do you go to a computer store like Apple or Best Buy? Since I have a Mac, if something goes really wrong on my Mac, I'm driving straight to the Apple store down in Texas or Tulsa. And but they actually do very good online service too. So the next one is, what innovative learning technologies would you like to study further? So I put those there, and you'll notice if it's a standard Likert scale, so no interest, some interest, interested, very interested, and strongly interested. This is part of the reason I did this survey, was to kind of give you an idea or introduction to surveys if you haven't had them before. Technology tools ability, what have you used before? Your overall ability, non-user, beginner user, novice user, expert user. What sort of teaching with technology experience do you have? And so you just click in the appropriate box and scroll down. You can give me other information here if you want, and what other programs we'd like to participate in. And what top 3 items would you like to know or experience by the time you leave our class? And then you can submit it. And then that will go into one Google spreadsheet for me, and so I'll be able to look at those responses. So again, these are really easy to create, and we can walk you through how to use those. So it's probably one of the more useful tools for teachers. And then the reflect portion of IKE-CARE is critical questions for week 1. What do you need to help you from me to help you successfully complete our course? So how can I help you? It's important for you to all like the class. It is important for you to like my class and for you to do well. And so, and more importantly, to be prepared to graduate and then to really use technologies. I do this work because I think it's one of actually the best ways we can change our world. And there's many reasons for that. But I want you to go out and kind of be our best reflection of how important instructional technologies are. So, number 2, what are your expectations of the class? What do you hope to get by the time you leave? And number 3, based on the content we covered, how can cloud computing empower your teaching and learning? And again, we used that term earlier, I used the term earlier, culturally responsive. So a lot of the councils I'm on, or work I've done, or publishing I've done, has been about culturally responsive. What does that mean to you? And then your assignments for this week coming up is what we talked about earlier in the session, a 1-page innovative, and if you need a definition of innovative, that means different things at different times. Look in our syllabus, session topics as examples. So on page 6 and 7, I outlined each one of our weeks together of 16 weeks that I'm going to be creating a presentation and a video for you, and each week we're going to have a different topic. And so that's page 6 to 7 of your syllabus. Now, each one of the weeks is based on an innovative topic. There is some theory in there, but especially as we go down the weeks and down those pages, it gets more and more innovative. We have MakerEd, we have 3D printing. You can also Google innovative learning technologies and see what you come up with. So you're going to have a one-page innovative lesson plan. And that lesson plan, I'm even going to give you templates. So you're on slide, I thought it was 22, I'll adjust that number. On this presentation, I give you a link to ISTE, International Society for Technology Educator templates for technology-infused lesson plans or technology-based lesson plans. So you don't have to recreate the wheel, you can have a template and basically you just fill in your own information based on the innovation you want to talk about. And then you're going to have a media-rich instructional presentation that includes a web quest. And I'm going to get a better marking tool next time. But you will have media-rich means pictures, video, sound, multimedia. So each one of these components is media, and when you have several of them, it's multimedia. Media-rich means there's a significant amount of those media-rich or multimedia tools that you've included. Ways to communicate information effectively. And it's an instructional presentation, so you're going to be teaching somebody something and you're going to have a web quest involved. So there's a lot into that one assignment, but by the time you're done, it should be a very cool lesson that you can teach, you can use for an interview, post online, it'll look good on your website and hopefully be helpful to others. So that is also a web quest template. I gave you several resources for how to create a web quest, including templates. Again, you just fill in your own data and it's already lined out for you. You don't have to recreate the wheel again. My job is to my goal is to make your life in my class as easy as possible while you're learning as much as possible. And then make sure that you, number 2 assignment is to make sure you set up your systems. Cloud computing, we talked about that. That was slide 18. You're setting up your Weebly, making sure you can access everything in Blackboard and Big Blue Button. Setting up your Google Apps, setting up your Microsoft 365, getting all your systems in place, setting up your folders and your password page. So that you are ready to just be very successful. I spent significant amount of time last week updating my computer with new applications and everything to make sure I was ready to start for you this week. So we're all doing the same thing. And then a tech tip, one thing that if you need help or there's something in here that you would like to see more about or have covered more, YouTube is full of training material and videos. So my typical method when I want to find some sort of training video is to type in the keywords such as Microsoft MS Office. Everybody knows MS is Microsoft. Microsoft Office 365. Do a plus sign, put parentheses around it, or quotes around it, I'm sorry, plus YouTube. Type out the word YouTube, plus training, and then end quote. Type that into your search, probably your Google search, and that will give you a list of trainings on Microsoft Office 365. You could do that with Adobe Photoshop or Google Apps for Education, and it will give you various training videos, and then you just watch them as your leisure. I probably am not going to be creating too many custom tool videos because you can find them on YouTube. Much more of my instruction will be very explanatory on concepts or tying together several concepts that are unrelated where there's not already a YouTube video to help explain it for you. And the number 2 tech tip here is always use what's already created and adapt for your purposes. If you need to ask permission to publish it, do that first. I've done that before. I used somebody's digital citizenship guide. I asked permission to adapt it. They said, sure, do whatever you need. And I said, okay, I'm more than happy to give you credit. So I gave them credit, thanked them profusely at the beginning of the document. And then there's other times where people just say very clearly, you don't have to give me credit, it's not copyrighted, go ahead and use and adapt it for your purposes. So just make sure you're following the copyright rules, and we'll talk more about those in the next sessions. But if you can find something that you're able to adapt or modify, do that. And here's the technology-based lesson plans that I talked about earlier. They are linked here. Notice when I click on the link, and so I'm going to give you this presentation. Click on the link, it'll take you here. You can download by clicking on these blue links. Here's the details. You can download it here. Notice over here there is all sorts of links tied to the ISTE standards. You feel free to join this wiki, of course. And we'll talk more about wikis as we go along. You can sign in as a guest. And then it has it delineated out, or has the categories of different grades for you. It has rubrics, resources, for everything is here that you need. And these are lesson plan templates. So again, you're doing a one-page lesson plan. Here's your template, adapt it and use it. They are copyright free. And then of course ISTE encourages you to share back so that other people can use them. So and then your next component of your one-page lesson plan, innovative lesson plan, is WebQuest. And so webquest.org, go figure, has lots of resources for you. And again, I hyperlinked it for you, so it takes you right to the website. Here on your left side, find WebQuests, create them, share them, useful resources. Feel free to really get accustomed to this website. Look here, templates. So here's the original one-page template, and has an evaluation page, always important, conclusion, credits, teachers, and feel free to use and adapt that as well. Here's your rubric. So this is great. Keep in mind this was last updated on 1999, but it works, and so you can feel free to do more searching for even more recent, or maybe a WebQuest that's already specifically created for your topic, and you can work through that there. Next week we're going to be talking more about the library and LibGuides, which is similar to WebQuest, but we have wonderful librarians, and they have I think almost finished creating a custom LibGuide for us, our resource guide, that has all the core important links for educational and instructional technologies for you. So that's we have a wonderful team of librarians, and they have been very helpful with that already. So that's kind of like an adult WebQuest, but you'll be creating one for your students, potential students, if you don't already have them. So, and then coming up, so to extend, we're in the E part of the iCare. We are going to extend by next week. Preview is, this is straight from your syllabus, week 2. We're going to be talking about the theory and concepts overviews. So I'm going to give you a little bit of theory behind all the practical information I'm giving you, just so that you know it's grounded. I think you know my doctorate's in instructional technologies, and so the theory is important to me. There's many decades of how we got to where we are now with instructional technologies, and so I want you to know how we got here. Some of what we're going to talk about, and it's just going to be brief: social learning theory, constructivism versus constructionism, and how that fits. That's a very important theory underlying technologies. And so project-based learning, I had my first project-based learning experience in 2003 at UCLA, and so great information there that I'll share with you. And we're also going to be talking about 21st century skills and a little bit of action research. I used to teach action research, and I really like it, and I think it would be very helpful to you. And most importantly, of course, is the technology integration for all of these. And so I'll keep it short and simple, but I do at least want to overview it for you, and then again we'll talk about the library component too. And that is it for week one. So congratulations on making it through your first thriving, not just surviving, through your first week and your first presentation with me. Here's all my contact information. I'm really good via email, and you can contact me anytime. There's my mobile. You can text, get free text, so that's no problem. Here's my office. And happy to meet with you online or in my office anytime. As President Burge said, I won't meet with you with my door closed, but I will meet with you just about any time. And I live pretty close to the university, so happy to support you in any way I can. And again, the goal is for you to really enjoy this class and really love instructional technologies, and also do very well, and to set you up for success in your other classes. The information I teach you here, or that we learn together here, you will be able to use in every other sector of your life, whether it's business, personal, school, as well as definitely every other class. So, so excited to be with you this semester, and please contact me anytime.